You're listening to Analog Assault, a video game podcast by Mulehorn Gaming.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Analog Assault podcast. I'm Wade, also known as Mulehorn Woman 7, and I have with me tonight my bros, Alex, aka Circuit 8.
Yo.
What up, man? And I also have my bro, Kurt, aka Dirty Bombs. What's up, fellas? How's it been?
I like that, don't you, Circuit?
Ooh, loved it.
That look told me he loved it.
He wasn't sure, but I think he's coming around with the idea now. Look at those eyebrows going.
Oh, yeah. Eyebrows on overdrive.
So, dudes, how's your week been? What you been playing? Talk to me.
Well, it's been okay, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's Labor Day weekend, and I have to work.
Oh,
and I want to just straight up drop kick everyone who comes into the place or calls me, because playing your day better. But whatever. Been playing some Division, actually, because I had to go around and scoop up all the intel that I left around the city, because that's free XP that gives you field proficiency caches, or caches, or however you want to say it. So, but that's done. So, I'm probably going to go back to The Witcher at this point. And yeah, y'all can go fuck yourself.
As we're making faces here like we're sleeping.
Yep.
Hey,
I'm just going to stop recording right now.
Play what you want, I guess.
Yeah, play what you love.
That's
right?
fine.
That's cool, man. Nothing else exciting? Nothing?
Potentially getting a new job on Tuesday.
Nice.
Offered a new job on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we'll see how
Very
that goes.
good. Exciting. Life changes.
One can hope.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Alex? How's your week been?
Man,
What? Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, speaking of snores, last night I went to a baseball game.
Yeah.
And it was the Rangers against the Angels. But the biggest reason I went is because they're having a Star Wars weekend at the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
So, on the Megatron, the big TV screen, like all of the player intros were edited to where the baseball bats were lightsabers.
Nice.
And they said like Jedi Master or Jedi Knight or some, various ranks of Force user under their name. And they periodically would show these little clips of, they had episode 7 clips where like a guy would swing his baseball bat, a guy from the Rangers, but it would be edited to be a lightsaber. And then they would show like a TIE fighter blow up, or we're basically editing Rangers players swinging their bats, or the pitchers throwing like balls of laser at different things, and played Star Wars music throughout the whole game.
That's cool.
It was super freaking long game. It started at 7 and we didn't get out of there until after 12.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, why'd you stay for the whole thing?
Because afterwards they had a Star Wars fireworks show.
Oh, awesome.
Where they had a big long, like 10-12 minute medley of Star Wars music that was synced up with the fireworks.
Yeah.
So it would go ba da 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 da.
That's
and
awesome.
The fireworks would go off at the same time. It was epic, and dude, it got super smoky about halfway through because the wind was. We were downwind, like.
Yo, bro, it's super smoky in here.
Yeah, bruh.
It's not 420 live, man.
Get the laser pointer, bruh.
Chilly.
No. But it was super awesome, and they were selling jerseys that said Vader on the back, and he had the number 77 for the year A New Hope came out.
Yeah.
I first saw it, and I was like, why didn't they pick 66? Because
Order 66, yeah.
Then my dad was like, because Star Wars came out in 1977. It's like, oh, screw me, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, thanks. Schooled me in history. But
maybe if the Emperor should be number 66 since he gave the order.
I mean, you can't fit Palpatine. You could fit Palpatine on a jersey, but they said Vader. That's the one that they were selling. I mean, I just thought 66 would have been cool.
Yeah.
But besides that, playing a little Titanfall 2.
Nice.
I played a little bit with Mr. Kurt the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And
of course, someone couldn't talk kept stealing all my fucking kills, especially when I needed them, so I didn't fucking die.
Yeah, I busted my headset, apparently, or my cat chewed it. One of the two, I'm not sure. But the mic won't work. I did get MVP 5 waves in a row, though.
Oh,
I
dang.
fucking gave you all the fucking kills because you stole them from me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you get support. You get support scores. All right.
I'm just saying.
You're the assist master.
You wouldn't have gotten the MVP if you didn't take them from me.
You got to take them from someone.
Yeah.
Take them from somebody else.
Taking them from everyone.
Take them from the fucking blueberry. I don't care.
Hey, if I took it, that just means you didn't.
Yeah, whatever.
And you got MVP the next game, so
Whatever.
yeah.
I aimed to steal all your
Don't be
kills
salty.
anyway. I got a few.
I'm just epic with Scorch. I got like a level G6 or G7
I
Scorch.
haven't used that one. I usually stick with Monarch and Ronin.
I love Monarch too, but Scorch I have the most leveled up because it seems like no one ever picks him and he cranks out the damage, dude. So I don't know.
Give him a try next time.
He's just slow and fat, which I don't mind. He has an arching primary weapon, which I feel like a lot of people don't want to mess with. But if you get it
It's
down,
good for distance.
yeah, it's really
Especially
good.
with those fucking arc Ronins. Just like coming through and just
Don't touch
melting
me.
your face off.
Don't tase me, bro.
Like I get killed like 3 times by those motherfuckers just walking around a corner and like I should have been paying attention to the map. Oh look, a Ronin. Oh look, I'm dead.
Well, it's because they drop in like 7 at the same
I
time,
know.
and the arc traps don't work on them.
No, they do not.
Also, a game that I played at PAX South earlier, quite a while back, has recently finally come to Xbox. The Mages of Mistralia. It's not free. I contributed to their Kickstarter campaign, so I got like the PC version until the Xbox version came out. So I got to play it a little bit, but I was like, I really just want to play this on Xbox on my couch,
Yeah.
But that's the game that is kind of similar to if Harry Potter and the Legend of Zelda had a baby. That's what this game is like.
Sounds like it'd be fun.
It is fun. It's a third person, sometimes top down. Usually it's at an angle, kind of like, like Ocarina of Time or something. But you control a young girl named Zia, Zia or Zaya, I don't know. There's no actual speech in the game. It's all just kind of like sim speak, kind of like what Zelda used to be.
Xboxes.
But basically you're a young mage in a realm where magic has been made illegal because the evil mage king is the only person allowed to use magic, and he's taken all of the spell books away from the entire population of people. So the mages are prosecuted and hunted, and she actually, every 10 years, someone is born a mage. And the story centers around Zia, who is one. And she looks like she's around 12. I'd say 12 or 14, something like that. And she discovers her gift and actually blows up her cottage and kills her uncle the first time she finds out she has magic. So she's exiled from her little village.
Hey, that kind of sounds like my gnome in D&D.
A gnome?
He's got
accident
the wild, prone? Not so much, but he does. Of the 2 from the player's handbook choices for paths you can go Draconic Ancestry and Wild Magic. And Wild Magic just sounded a hell of a lot more fun because every time you cast a spell of first level or higher, you can roll from the Wild Magic table, and it does a varying amount of things from, hurting yourself, hurting your teammates by accident, growing feet, and stuff like that. But his backstory was that he accidentally burned his home down and killed his parents.
Wow, nice. It's kind of like the sorcerer versus the wizard. Whereas the sorcerer is kind of inertly gifted, but may not be schooled in his gift. And
exactly.
Kind of causes accidents to happen. So that's basically Zia. So she is taken in by a mage on the outskirts of the country, and he raises her to, he doesn't really raise her, but he basically teaches her how to use her gifts and shows her that there are other mages around living in secret. And it's up to you to slowly start to exact changes on the land. So the gameplay is very similar to Zelda. but also you can design your own spells. You collect different runes, artifacts, different pieces of spells, basically, and you connect them together in sort of a constellation-looking thing. And based on how you connect them, you can you can basically say you cast Fireball, but on its own, it sits right in front of you. But if you connect it to a move node, then it will move in a straight line. You can connect that node to a right node, and it will curve to the right. You can connect it to an effect node that'll cause it to set stuff on fire when it hits, or cause it to cast another spell when it hits. So you can get really complicated with the different kinds of spells you make. And there are lots of puzzles in the game where you need to kind of custom create spells to solve the situation at hand. Huh. So it's very neat, very Zelda-esque. You've got the timed puzzles, you know, like it'll hit all those old nostalgic senses for you.
That's cool, man.
Also bringing a new customization factor.
Yeah, sounds
Super
really fun. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, cool.
Yep, Mages of Mystralia.
Well, I've tried out Path of the Exile since it's free on Xbox, and
it's free. Okay.
It's free. Yeah, so go download it. I think you guys would like it because it feels like a cross.
I downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet.
It feels like a cross between like Neverwinter and Diablo.
To me, it seemed like a Diablo clone. I played it a couple years back when it was in beta on PC, and to me, it was like I'd rather play Diablo, or I was playing Torchlight 2 at the time, which is another it's a game made by ex-Blizzard employees. It's very similar to Diablo, but it's got a different feel.
When I first started it, you start off going onto like a beach that you're exiled to, and I was like, oh, this is like Neverwinter.
Right. Like you don't have anything. You wake up on a beach.
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, here we go. This is familiar.
Here's a stick.
Yeah. I played probably a good solid hour. And then I remembered, oh, hey, I was sitting there playing and I saw an update for Recore. So I got the definitive edition update since I've already had it purchased. So I was like, dude,
nice.
I started a playthrough earlier that I'm like level 4 or whatever. So I've just barely started. I was like, I'm just going to jump back in. I was like 2 hours into that game and I forgot how much I love it. Like I was just like, and it felt like, and it looked like they upgraded the graphics a little bit.
Right. I was going to ask, I heard that it looked like the graphics were updated a lot.
It looked super clean. I felt like the load times were a lot shorter from when it originally released, like way shorter.
Oh, nice.
But I got in there and I started playing it again. I was like, man, I forgot how much I love this. It feels like an arcade shooter, you know? And I was just like, it's fun. So I spent a few hours in that. And then, recently the other night, a bunch of us, from Mulehorn Gaming, we had Dirty, we had Hound, had Nate Johns and myself. We were playing some, Call of Duty World War II beta.
Oh.
And, I will probably buy this game, but it'll probably not be a day one. I just want to see the story because the story looks cool. Some of the stuff like gameplay in the actual beta looks really cool where you can call in like strafing runs and things like that. But man, as we were talking in pre-podcast chat and I was kind of talking with Dirty online, is like, I feel like Destiny and Overwatch has spoiled me. And when I play another shooter, it just doesn't feel as good, you know? And I played a lot of COD in my past and I was just like, it feels like a typical COD, which is you're going to watch those corners, you're going to camp in little spots here and there. Yeah. And I was just like, man, I don't want to get back into that kind of gameplay. So
what are you saying? Like the time to kill is super short because I feel like in games where it's higher that those strategies aren't as valuable.
No, it just felt like a little slower. Like the pace felt slower to me. Like you can't sprint very long. The hitboxes were ridiculous. Like you're spraying, you're spraying and you're not even pulling down to aim down sights and you're just hitting people and killing them with like shooting him in the foot, and then all of a sudden you get a headshot, and it's like, oh man, But so I don't know, man. I mean, not to cool anybody off on it if you're a COD player, because it is definitely a good feeling COD game. But I think just I've been spoiled, Destiny and
Well, it's not
Overwatch.
sci-fi.
Yeah,
And you don't have supernatural stuff going on. I mean, the craziest thing is like, what is it? Exploding shotgun shells.
yeah.
Right.
These incendiary shotguns.
Yeah, it's not even really explosions. It's just that, which is still a thing.
Yeah.
But it was just, I don't know. I mean, if that's honestly how Call of Duty has been, I don't know how I played that when I was younger. Like, I would play Call of Duty all day, every day.
It's probably not the same as the last World War II Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but I'm talking like Modern Warfare 2, the good ones. And if that was how that was, then oh my god.
Like maybe you have a different impression on how an FPS should feel, because honestly, Destiny, bad story, good story, bad updates, good updates, bad meta, whatever. The feel
Feels good.
just the minute to minute, the run and gun is among the best, and that's what kept you coming back.
Compared to sitting and camping and having to watch your corners to running and gunning, I'd prefer a run and gun PvP any day.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to come around the corner and be like, oh, some little chicken shit mother fluffer is,
I did get to hear the dirty rage while we were playing.
I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Get off your ass and go do something.
Yeah.
Well, and with Destiny 2, the little taste that we got of that, the time to kill being, I mean, obviously it's raised quite a bit. Basically, you're either winning a gunfight or your team shooting, which means strategy either way. Feels good, and I would guess it would be hard to go to something like Call of Duty, although I still like Titanfall and the mechanics, and it's a pretty quick.
Yeah, but
Titanfall feels better.
It's a pretty solid run and gun. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a you sit still. This is like if you sit still, you will die as soon as you decide to.
It's about mobility.
Yeah.
But it's such a good feeling shooter, and just thinking the guys who left to make Respawn came from Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Anyway, Wade, by the way, I heard a new chicken joke the other day.
Tell me.
To share it with you.
Tell me.
Why did the chicken go to the gym?
Why?
To work on his pecs.
Oh my god. Did you get that from that stupid dad jokes Twitter?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did.
I'm
By
ashamed
the
to
way,
say I followed it too.
everybody follow this Twitter account. It's at Jokes from Dad or Jokes with Dad. Shit, I'll look it up later and tweet it out. But
I definitely followed it too. A few were all like, oh, okay. Some were like, that's stupidly good.
a lot of them are bad, but good bad.
I got another dad joke for you.
Yeah.
What happened to the toilet paper when it crossed the road?
Got stuck in a crack.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's some gems in there.
There's some good ones in there.
I mean, there's a difference between dad jokes and uncle jokes.
That's true. Wade has the uncle jokes down pretty well.
Yeah.
I'll say
Oh,
that.
come on.
There's something on Facebook that I've been seeing. I don't follow it, but I feel like I should. But it's like it comes up in my popular across Facebook area, where it's just like the two teams of two guys just slinging dad jokes at each other, and the first one to laugh gives that team a point.
Yeah, dad joke battles.
Yeah. Some of those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. It's good hearing the stuff that you guys are playing. So, fellas, this episode, we're going to be talking we're going to reminisce a little bit about the OG Xbox One, the original Xbox that we got recently that they started. They no longer make or produce that Xbox recently announced. We're also going to get into a little topic about Destiny 2. So you're going to want to hang in there and listen to this, because we're going to have some good stuff about consoles, getting the hype in for Destiny 2. So hang in there. But first, let's send it to Dirty Bombs for rapid fire news.
Rapid fire news.
Blizzard released an update for console players and new patch notes about the recent changes to Overwatch they've had. The mobile game's Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has gone epic with the new game mode Territory Battles, and Netflix has teased a potential release date for Punisher. They say it's sometime this year. Oh my god. That was Rapid Fire News. Back to the shenanigans.
Well, guys, if you like our podcast and you like our website content, consider being a supporter. Head over to patreon.com/Mulehorn Gaming for all the details.
Sweet deets.
The deets. Get all the deets.
Sweet beats.
So real quick, I want to announce something for all of our listeners. Next weekend, which will be September the 8th through the 9th, we're going to start about 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, run all the way to Saturday at midnight Central Standard Time. We're going to be putting on a Mulehorn Gaming charity stream for Hurricane Harvey victims, and all the donations that will be going that we'll get during this charity stream will go directly to the Red Cross. So, we wanted it to be a legit charity, not, cause there's all kinds of crazy stuff that pops up when stuff like this happens. So we wanted to make sure it go to a good charity that's helping out all those people down there. So, but we got a really good list of people that are going to jump in and help us stream. So just be watching our Twitter, be watching our Facebook.
You want to rattle off a couple of those? Real quick, 'cause we do have some cool cats that are going to be playing on the 8th and the 9th for us.
Yeah, definitely. So us here, we're going to kick it off at Mulehorn Gaming. We're going to kick it off. Then we're going to have our bro Houndstooth that's going to jump in. And then as the late night hours go, I'm going to try to stream from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. And then our bro Ross Miller, who actually does the Xbox subreddit podcast, he's going to jump in, and he's the host there, and he's going to jump in and stream for us for a few hours. Then we got our bro Scrap Gear. Scarecrow 21 is going to do it. Not So Famous TV from the Loot Cast, one of the guys in the clan there with the Loot Clan. He's going to stream.
Loot Clan, yeah.
Yeah. House of Jerk, DOD Westside. What up, fellas? And of course, our bro 3Nil13 is going to close it out for us. And then we have about an hour slot in there that I may jump in with him to finish out the hour. So we'll have to see how it's going. But we got some good guys lined up. We got a few spots if anybody wants to jump in and help me out in the late night hours.
It's going to be a lot of fun. The caffeine will be flowing, and the DMs are open if you want to help out.
Yes, yeah. So we still got spots. So if you want to jump in, we can get you in. Of course, all of it is to go to Red Cross. MHG is not taking any of it. We want to help these guys. All of us, most of us that are with MHG are Texans. We do have a few that are out of state, like Dirty Bombs. But, we want to help those guys out. I mean, Thaddeus was telling us stories because he's in Houston and he's seen a lot of stuff. So,
yep. And there are a few guys in our clan who are from Houston as well. And, honestly, the situation in Houston really affects everybody across the country with the gasoline production that goes in Houston, as well as a large amount of the country's plastic is produced in Houston. So regardless of where you are, how many cares you give, it's going to affect you to some degree. And notwithstanding, I mean, it's an emergency, and this is not going to be over as soon as the rain stops.
No. Yeah, I had that actually happen today. I went to go get gas, and I went to 3 places that were out, and then I happened to see a truck that pulled into a 7-Eleven that was putting gas in. And dude, it was like everyone flocked there. You know, they're like, and so I got into the line, and my tank was literally like the light came on, and I'm like, I got to get gas, But I did get it. It just took quite a while to get there.
Yeah, we're in a situation up in DFW where most places are out of gas, and fortunately, I had the better part of a tank before it happened on last Thursdays when it stopped coming through. The pipeline runs from Houston up to here, right? And there's a lot of gas in it, but there's nothing coming in to push it along because no one can get to work in Houston.
Demand's getting higher now. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's gone. There's nothing in the stations right now. It's probably looking at between Tuesday next week and Friday before we get any actual gas in. So, just from here, it looks bad. Imagine if you're in Houston.
Yeah.
So come check it out. That's next Friday and Saturday on September 8th and 9th. If you want to help, again, DMs are open on at Mulehorn Gaming on Twitter.
Yeah. So, fellas, Xbox recently announced that the Xbox One, the OG Xbox One, is no longer in production. I actually have it here still with me. That's my Xbox sitting right beside me, and I have some fond memories here. So I want to ask you guys, do you remember when you first bought your Xbox?
Yeah.
Do you have any good stories with it?
When I first got my Xbox One, it was for Christmas. Because I held off a little bit. I was playing Destiny on the 360. And, you know, like a pleb, and everybody else was like, the Xbox One. And I was like, okay, I'm lucky about half of my friends are still on 360. And then, lo and behold, Christmas, got money, Xbox One happened, and got Destiny for the Xbox One. And then Lizard Squad attacked Xbox.
Yeah.
So on Christmas Day, I'm trying to like download updates, trying to get on. It just didn't happen until super late in the day. And I still remember those reptilian douchebags. And I'm pretty sure half of them are in jail now. So good freaking riddance.
Yeah. Ruining our fun. That's not cool, man.
It's like you're not making a statement. You're just being an asshole.
Just DDoSing people, yeah.
Yeah.
Cut it out, man. So, Dirty, you said you had a good one, too?
The original Xbox, yes, way before it fried. It was a slow process because I was still on the 360, and it was I don't know if it was shortly after it came out or how long, but most everyone was making the jump, and I'm like, well, damn it, I don't have money for this. Like, come on, what am I supposed to do? Stay on the 360? Nah, screw that noise.
Dang it!
So I had used GoFundMe. And was just taking, random donations every now and then. I wasn't like I wasn't being like obnoxious about it. Like, hey, here, give me money for an Xbox. And like, I would make a note of it like once a month, just like, don't forget about me. I want an Xbox too. So
that was when we were still in line too, right? I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. And I was like $95 short. And our old friends who have fallen off of our social media, anything. But they gave me the last $95. I'm like, get the dick out. Like, I kind of cried a little bit because they gave me the last $95 for it. So I'm all like, dude, that's amazing. I went out the next day and bought it.
Yeah. You were happy.
I was happy. And then it crapped out in a blaze of fiery glory. It wasn't really fiery, but it was terrifying all the same.
How long did it take to crap out, though?
A couple of years at least.
Okay. So at least you got at least a few years out of it.
It lasted a good while. I think it didn't die until after the S came out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Mine's still going strong, though. It's worth saying. I mean, I have my original Xbox One, and it's on pretty much 24/7 because we run our TV through it, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Water cool that mother fluffer.
Mother fluffer.
Tell it to the wrong guy. They're like, let's pour water on it? Does that work?
Yeah, just pour it right over the top.
Yeah.
You'll be good.
Works better if you use Mountain Dew.
I have Coca-Cola cold.
Right?
Yeah. I remember when I never really wanted to pick up an Xbox One, and I was just fine with my 360, but I was playing so much Destiny. I remember people in chat saying, oh, dude, because if you remember on the 360, when you tried to go into the menu to pop a heavy or something like that,
dude, it took forever.
So long.
Forever, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just can't. I was doing like Omnigul or something like that, and I had to run all the way back down just to pop a heavy because it's taking forever.
Because you'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember people saying in line chat, like, oh yeah, man, it's like seconds now when on the Xbox One. And I was like, that tears it. I'm doing it. So I went out and just bought one and brought it back. And I think it was like in March or something like that. So, but yeah. And then the first thing I got with it, of course, was Destiny. So
yeah.
I think I got Destiny and then the DLC that they had at the time, which was all the way to House of Wolves. So yeah.
Luckily I got it at the period of time where you would transfer your 360 DLC over to the Xbox One.
Oh.
So I didn't have to buy it a second time.
I did.
Which, Bungie, that was sweet. Where's that Bungie?
Where's my sweet Bungie?
You know?
You're overshadowed by active douchebag now.
So let's go ahead and just get into it. I mean, the next big game that's coming out is next week. Destiny 2. Everyone's excited.
It is upon us.
I know. Even Dirty Bombs is excited. He's ready for it.
Dude,
So-
like, I love Witcher. I love playing through Witcher, but I want something new.
Yeah. So there was some really good stuff. I mean, they had the PC beta out recently, and apparently it was a huge hit. All the PC players really loved it. So now, of course, what's being brought back up is crossplay and cross saves.
Right.
So I want to get you guys' thoughts on that and think, would this be good for the Destiny community? Do you think it'd be good for gamers? We got some quotes in here too, but I want to get your thoughts first.
Yeah. So far as I'm concerned, cross-play is an infinitely more complicated thing to work out than cross-saves.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go open up your PlayStation or Xbox Destiny entry and go look at the files that are actually stored on your system. And it's just the game and your DLC. You don't have save files on your console, right? All of that shiznit is stored on Bungie servers, which, by the way, they do have servers. They store your save game. So the thing is, you log in on Bungie.net and you can access all that stuff. You can access, 2 versions of your account, soon 3. Xbox, Sony, PC. And it's all just delivered to you based on your login. You don't keep any of it. So in my eyes, all you would have to do is disable a few items and you could have cross saves between consoles. And I say disable a few items because obviously Sony PlayStation has some stuff that PC and Xbox won't, at least for what Bungie says is going to be a year. But that wouldn't be that difficult in my eyes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's all kind of running on their system, and I don't claim to be an expert in programming or setting that stuff up, but to me that sounds like it wouldn't be a hassle. I would say maybe wait until the PC version has been out for a few months before you kind of turn that on.
Yeah.
So that way, when the PC version is released, you don't have people who have raid gear jumping in from PlayStation and Xbox, just wrecking shop.
Right.
But other than that, I don't see why not. Crossplay, though, nah, it's not going to happen. Maybe PC and Xbox, but the way that Bungie is basically in bed with Sony, and Sony doesn't like crossplay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not fabricating. They don't. Unless it's between Sony and PC. And if you enable that, then you got a whole shitstorm about what about Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you still have the mouse and keyboard, Zim, controller, triad argument here. Who's going to kill who? What's better? Who gets aim assist? Is it fair for mouse and keyboard to even play against a controller? That whole argument. So I don't think they're going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. Dirty, what do you think?
I'm about the same, honestly. Like, I would love to see crossplay come to PC and Xbox because they're trying to push for, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. But I think it would actually be kind of funny if they did at the same time. Like, okay, well, Sony, you can have, or Sony can have Activision up their butt, or vice versa, while everybody else can play with everybody else. You guys can stay in your own little selfish ass corner, and we'll have fun.
Right.
I like that idea. I very much do. But I can hope it'll happen. I don't think it will. But
I mean, I would love to see cross save because if Diablo can do it, why can't we do it with Destiny? And Diablo is Blizzard, and Blizzard is now Destiny 2.
Well, that's not entirely true.
So, at least they're connected.
You're just using Battle.net.
Yeah, but Vivendi owns both. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. Vivendi used to. They don't any longer, but Activision and Blizzard are one company.
Yeah.
Rather. Sure. I apologize. Yep. Yeah. So, it's the same company.
Why not, man?
That's why they're use our servers. Don't use Steam. Don't use some other eShop situation. Use Blizzardbattle.net, what it's being called now.
Yeah.
Right. blizzardbattle.net, because there was confusion about who owned battle.net. Thanks, Blizzard.
Jeez.
You just need a longer URL to type in now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it would be super cool to have cross saves. I understand why it's possible in other games. I think with Destiny, you're always going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. The rock being, man, wouldn't this be cool? Why isn't it possible? And the hard place being, do I think it's a Sony conspiracy to prevent other people from playing nicely with Sony?
Would it really surprise you that much, though? How much pull does Sony honestly have? As much
all
as,
of it?
I would say as much
mean,
pull
all the
as money
pull?
is yeah, I would say as much pull. They have as much pull as they do money in their pockets, which is a
Right.
shit ton.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Sony is not in the same place as Microsoft. Sony absolutely depends on their gaming division to be profitable. Whereas Microsoft, I mean, honestly, you could probably chop off the Microsoft or the Xbox arm of their business.
They'll
and it
do
would
just fine.
Still be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Xbox to, I'm sure some of their shareholders is viewed as a liability. Why do we need this? We don't need to. This isn't smart business. It's like, no, but we wanna,
Right.
you know, and that's good R&D. You can apply that to other things. So I think Sony really needs to do that, and they're really just digging in their heels lately.
Yeah. I don't
But
think they just want to play ball, you know?
it's kind of like a
don't
dog
really
with a
have to,
bowl
though.
of food,
Yeah.
and he's got all the food, and some other pups run up, and he's rawr, rawr, no, rawr. This is mine. This
Well,
is
I mean,
mine.
Yeah.
When the time comes, if PC and Xbox crossplay, does Sony, they can just stay in their little corner and be like, no, we don't want to do that. We're Sony. Or would they nut up and be all like, come back with their tail between their legs and be like, okay, sorry, we're assholes. Let's do this.
I think they just don't want to
they'd
play.
well, the thing is like if people they could potentially lose players at that point in time, where it's like if PC and Xbox are cross playing, and holding hands and everyone's being happy, friendly, and whatnot, and it's happy tree friends and friends time over here, and then there's Sony off in the dark corner, where it's like, oh well, they're all having fun with their friends on different systems. Let's go play over there.
Well, I mean, definitely Xbox, or I should say Microsoft, is putting the pressure on Sony. Just a few quotes from a article we got from VG247.com. And here's just a few quotes on here. We can kind of discuss it a little more. It says, Microsoft has said it's ready to have a conversation with any development team that wants to feature cross-play support on consoles and PC. He also goes on, and I think this is actually Mike Ibarra that's saying this here. And he says, it's more about gamer choice, more about making a IP on our platform that lasts longer. I don't care about where they play. I just want people to have fun playing games because it's just better for the industry. I mean, that is a gamer talking right there, to me. And the thing
It makes
is,
sense.
yeah, I mean, Sony doesn't have to play ball because they got the money. They got the market share right now. But I think if you're a gamer and you hear that, you're like, yeah, come on, how cool would it be if I could play with some of my bros on PlayStation? If I can get my bro Red 5 standing by and I can play PlayStation, he can play his PlayStation, I can play my Xbox, and we can go do a strike together or something.
Well, the thing is, what Sony's doing often is not good for the industry. It's good for Sony. And people may equate those two statements. Like, well, I have a PlayStation, so why the hell would I care? Why you care is because you're part of a greater ecosystem. You're part of a greater network of people, of individuals, businesses, content creators, everything. And honestly, Sony kind of has put out some statements that are very turd-ish, in my opinion. And the way that they are not playing ball, or unwilling to, lately is pretty off-putting, and it makes it a less inclusive community. If you enable crossplay for games, that encourages people to buy 3 versions of that game. Surprise, that's good for everybody, right?
Right.
If you can play Destiny with all of your friends and you have a PlayStation and an Xbox, which one do you feel like playing tonight? Which one did you already have on and set up?
And let's face it, like, Sony can keep pumping out their exclusives and whatnot and just have people buy their system left and right. And people who just want to have it, have a good old time can play on Xbox and PC because they will have exclusives, sure, but they may not focus on it as hardcore as Sony does.
Well, what will happen is, at least in my opinion, because this is kind of how I feel, is I would buy a PlayStation for those awesome exclusives and I'd play those single story campaigns, and then I would set it aside and go back to my Xbox and play with all my friends on PC.
And that's exactly the case, man, is that you've got games, you've got Last of Us, you've got Horizon Zero Dawn, you've got Uncharted, but these are games that, I mean, arguably, okay, whatever you're into, but have the replay value is not that of a multiplayer game.
Right.
So besides these single player situations where, okay, you're sitting here by yourself, you're going to play through this game, however many hours it takes you to do it, I understand Horizon can take quite a while to get through. But at the same time, you're not going to spend as much time in that game as you are a game like Destiny.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're into
thousands of hours in it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Multiplayer, replayability, constant updates and tweaking and everything. It's just, to me, not enough of a selling point when you've got executives at Sony who are just taking dumps on every other company that's not them or isn't getting paid by them to do something for them.
Yep.
Yeah. And I really like this quote by Mike. He says, the demand of consumers and developers has changed. He continued, he says, people are like, we want all our games on one multiplayer pool together, playing.
Right.
And that's like, I don't know how long gamers have been saying that. And I feel like Mike gets it. So, I mean, there's already games that support crossplay. I mean, got Sea of Thieves. Obviously, it's not a shooter. So, I mean, it's a little bit different type of thing. But, I mean, you have games like, Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves is a Microsoft product, because Rare is kind of in the Xbox ring. Mm-hmm. So that's a Play Anywhere, Windows 10 and Xbox title.
Yep.
But you go beyond that, I haven't heard a thing from Sony on Minecraft and Rocket League,
Yep.
who are the two big games that are going to feature crossplay. Minecraft is going to be cross-playable between mobile devices, Xbox One, Windows 10 on the PC, and the freaking Nintendo Switch.
Right.
And who's the one not playing ball? Sony.
I'm taking my ball and going home.
Like,
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
and the thing is, Sony doesn't even own Minecraft.
Yeah.
Microsoft owns Minecraft. So what do they have to lose by just participating? Like, wouldn't that get more people to buy it on the PS4?
Yeah.
Because people
I mean,
have
they're
a
still gonna make
PS4
money.
already.
Yeah, exactly. They're still
just
going to
don't
make
get
that
it.
money.
It's just like, you're just being mean. Why are you doing that?
I mean, there's probably something broader that we'll never know because we're not working for Sony or, anything like that. It could be some legitimate business reason that we don't know. But
What
is
they
it?
claim is that they have children who they need to protect. And when they open those children up to the Microsoft network and the Nintendo network, they aren't in explicit control of what those kids have going on. But I'm like, you don't think Nintendo thought about that? Who basically takes care of their kid customers better than Nintendo? And they're like, yes, let's do it.
Well, I mean, the features on Xbox as well for controls for family settings is pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're not lacking in that.
Yeah. I mean, you can shut it down if you want them just to be able to play online and not chat or get messages or only play a certain amount of times. And
well, that's the thing, is that the crossplay would use Xbox logins and networking, even Nintendo Switch. It's going to have to interface with Xbox's way of doing things.
right. And maybe that's the reason why Sony doesn't want to do it, because they're like, no, because they want us to play by their rules rather than what we want to do. Maybe I'm just speculating here. I don't know, but yeah. But I mean, I felt, and we kind of talked about it a little bit at the end of the last podcast, but I felt like the jabs in the media, the jabs by developers is getting a little ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
and what did we see on the Reddit recently on the Xbox One subreddit is Call of Duty World War II private beta. And it says, and I'm just going to read it here. Beta starts 1 p.m. EDT, 10 a.m. PTD on PS4 and other platform. Like, so you can't even say Xbox. Like,
this is literally concrete proof that Sony paid somebody to not even mention the Xbox.
That's just downright childish.
Because it's not even other platforms. If it were plural, if this were coming out on the Switch and PC, like at the same time,
right,
for the same beta, they would put an S after platforms.
Right.
But that's not the case. It's referring to Xbox without mentioning it.
You know, and I kind of giggled and laughed when I saw some of the mods tweeting and joking about changing the Reddit to match the platform, saying other platform.
I saw that picture that Cheese posted. Yeah, the Xbox subreddit where it said, instead of Xbox One subreddit, it just said other platform.
I mean, like, come on, man. It's a piece of plastic you play a game on. It's okay to mention Sony or Activision or Xbox or, you know.
I almost kind of loosely and start that over.
Go for it. Say it.
Just spit it out.
Sort of understand it because, like we talked about earlier, this is Sony's lifeblood, essentially. Like, okay, well, how good is their electronics division doing? Like, when's the last time they come out with a new Blu-ray player or whatever it is?
It ain't the TVs.
Exactly. Like something that's like, oh snap, you know, like, oh shit, our Blu-ray player is so cool, but here's this brand new shiny PS4 that you can play Blu-rays on anyway, if you can. I have no idea anymore. But at the same time, you're kind of taking away your own business from yourself, and they're just like putting it all into PlayStation.
They actually didn't put 4K Blu-ray players in the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
See,
that's
kind of silly.
Yeah. It is kind of silly. It would make more sense to do that.
They own it.
Right? Maybe they're honestly trying to say, hey, no, wait, let's not do that, so that way we can actually have another source of income because no one's buying our movie players anyway.
Maybe. It may also be a price point thing for the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
People complain about the Xbox One X, but it will have that Blu-ray player, you know?
Yeah. So I guess I can kind of understand why they don't even want to mention Xbox by name. Now it's just basically the system that shall not be named because it's the evil one to take away takes away our business. Because
that just shows. I mean, to me, kind of shows you're scared. And I'm not trying to inflame any console war crap going on here because I honestly hate it. But it's like the stuff I wake up and I see on Twitter daily makes me pissed.
Yeah.
Gets me riled up. Like, why are people taking dumps on Xbox? Like, you know, the past few months it's been up in the air. Like, okay, all right, we get it, Sony. You hate Xbox. Obviously, they're a competitor, but you know, you can generally kind of respect the ecosystem in which your industry resides and understand that, you know, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, you're all making burgers. You want people to like burgers and eat them wherever they are. So you don't want people to think that hamburgers suck in general, right? You have like a sort of mutually beneficial relationship in that sense that, eat burgers.
Yeah.
Right? Or chicken tenders or whatever the hell you know, and Sony's not digging on that. Sony's not taking a bite out of that burger. Metaphorically speaking, it's gotten me to a point where I wasn't trying to alienate Sony, but now I'm like, you know what? Xbox is like the underdog now, and I want to root for it even more.
Right. It's like if they're not going to pull punches, then why should anyone else?
Yeah.
Like you can only, I mean, as content creators in media of sorts, like we should, you know, be polite, but at the same time. I would not mind letting loose with some utter just fuckery on some people at the same time.
Well, I think it's all like for us, you know, anytime you're in a position of media or, you know, you have a public appearance, I guess, where people can see you publicly, you try to not be biased, or at least if you are, you try to admit you're biased.
Unless you work for IGN.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
Where you completely fucking pander to whichever console is selling more.
So I just feel like, just for me personally, I try to not be biased. I try to see it from both sides. But if I am going to be biased on something, I always preface that. Like when I said, I love Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect Andromeda. Yeah. I'm a BioWare fanboy. Just know it's coming from a BioWare, fanboy. So, when I say that, that's why I'm saying it, because I love it. But, yeah, man. I mean, it like you were saying, it's infuriating sometimes because you're like, really, man? Like, did you really look at that? And are you just saying that because you want to protect, like, with your ideological thinking of this is why I bought this piece of plastic over this piece of plastic?
Right. You're psychologically affirming that the money you spent was a smarter spend than what the guy who bought an Xbox or a gaming PC is doing, Right. And it really just doesn't make sense. You bought the thing you wanted. Someone else bought the thing they wanted. If I bought a Honda and you bought a Ford and homeboy bought a Chevy, who gives a crap? Who gives a flying fuck? Right? Oh, my gas mile. Okay, whatever. Does that car do the thing that you want? Cool. But the issue is that you get some games on one, some games on another. It would be like if you bought your Honda and it got X, Y, and Z radio stations.
Right.
But someone else got the Ford and it doesn't have those stations, but it's got some other stations. That's the situation we're living with right now.
Right.
And being on a podcast, we're like, this isn't an Xbox podcast. It's not a PlayStation podcast. It's a gaming podcast. So we want to talk about them all. But at the same time, Sony is just really hard to like sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just not being nice. Like, that's kind of my thing. I'm attracted to nice companies. Like,
You're
are you
so
morally
nice.
sound,
Yeah.
I mean, the console wars have always been a thing, and it's always been on the back of most people's minds. But lately, it's been like about as bad as I've seen it since I started playing.
The
consoles.
worst.
And it's just like, all right, seriously, shut the front door. Just go about your business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I had a Genesis when everyone else had a Super Nintendo. Like, I obviously had other friends with a Genesis, but like, I'd go to my friend's house, play his Super Nintendo. He'd come to mine, play my Genesis, and we didn't talk shit about each other.
Right.
I was just like, oh man, I need to finish Super Mario World. He was like, yeah, I need to finish Sonic 2. Well, come over.
Sweet, come over after this.
Let's hang out. Buy some Cheetos and Mountain Dew.
It's almost like the pressure's there that you have to identify with one or the other. And
absolutely.
You have to be a super fan of one or the other, or you're not a real gamer. And
gamer neutrality.
I just want to play games, man.
Yeah.
I just want to play games. I don't care what piece of plastic it is. Of course, if I did play a PlayStation, I'd probably have to get that Xbox controller for the PlayStation because
yeah,
I can't do those sticks on the PlayStation.
That
man.
Controller, bro.
I can't do it.
It's like I got big hands.
I got man hands. Oh yeah. Well, man, we could probably talk about this for hours, but for the sake of moving the podcast along, let's go ahead and get into our next segment, which is Shots Fired. And this is the part of the podcast where we take your questions, your comments from our social media, whether it be Facebook, our official Discord, our Twitter, whatever it would be. We just ask you guys to comment or give us some questions, and we'll just chat with you here. So let's go ahead and kick this off. We got our first one from our Facebook page, and it's from Aaron, and he says, what are your favorite weapons, or what is your favorite weapon in any game? There we go. Top 3 if you can't truly decide. #AskAnalog.
I got it. I got a top 3.
Oh yeah?
Easy. Yeah, it didn't take that long. It took me a second. I had to Google one to figure out the like extra lettering behind it, because guns have weird numbers and letters and stuff. But
yeah,
sure.
I got it. 2 are from Nintendo 64.
Oh,
yeah.
Let me hear.
The first one, in no particular order. First one, Vanquisher 8 from Destiny.
Yeah.
The New Monarchy auto rifle, Not the last one, but the second to last generation.
Yep. I like it.
Dude, I got the new one. I got all the new auto rifles. I still went back, picked up that old shit, infused it, used it.
It's definitely
awesome.
Is it true if you don't infuse it, you lose it?
You lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Second on my list is the RCP-90 from GoldenEye.
Oh, yeah.
That's the super duper fast, like 80 round mag machine gun.
Yeah.
Kind of a long rectangular prism. It was orange.
Yeah.
If it rings any bells. That thing, shred, dude. Like power weapons on GoldenEye.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting. Then, Perfect Dark, the Callisto NTG. It was a blue alien weapon in Perfect Dark, and it had two alternate fire modes. One that was like a power shot that was slightly slower. It was like an auto rifle or a scout rifle, depending on which mode you selected. And you could basically play the entire game with it, or slay all your friends in multiplayer. It was epic.
That's awesome. Dirty.
Well, kind of throwing a list together in my head now. I'd have, going off of the Destiny vein, probably my favorite gun in the entire game. And the only thing in that game I will miss is the Supremacy sniper rifle.
Yep.
Loved it. Still have it. Going to be sad to see it go. It was my go-to sniper rifle until it became obsolete. And even then, I would just be like, you know what? I'm going to Earth. I'm going to brush the dust off of this bad boy. I'm going to go shoot some shit in the head.
Yeah.
So refresh everybody on how you actually got the Supremacy.
I don't fully remember, but I do remember that it was, I want to say it was before any of the DLC in Destiny 1 during the Queen's event. No, it had to be after the DLC because
it was like the very first Queen's event.
Yeah, because I think Bungie had heard that people weren't getting enough rare gear or jazz like that, so they wanted to give people an easier way of doing it. So they gave people the Queen's events, which I think were, I want to say bounties, but I'm not entirely sure. And they gave you I think a random piece, or if you did a certain number, then you got a gun or whatever it might be. You got like general armor, weaponry, you got a ship. But I got the Supremacy, and it was just amazing. Solar powered, Firefly, good clip, good aiming. It was just, oh my God. How many times I got asked by randoms that we were doing raids with, like, dude, what gun is it? I'm like, it's the Supremacy, fool. You don't know the Supremacy? Come on.
Yeah, it would have been nerfed if more than like 40 people got it.
Yeah.
Right. After that, I would say the Boltok or the Boltac pistol, however you want to fucking say it, from Gears of War.
Oh, Boltok.
Dude, whenever that thing dropped, I'm like, mine! Mine!
Headshot. Boom, headshot.
Oh my God. That thing is so much fun. And the execution for it is just so great. You just pistol whip somebody's head clean off. Oh my God, it was great.
Oh, yeah.
Loved it. Other than that, in any game, I'm going to go more realistic military shooters and say the G36C in anything.
Yeah.
Because the G36 is, I don't know why, but it's just been an amazing gun to me. Like, I remember it in...
It was like Tom Clancy games or something?
In anything. In Call of Duty, Tom Clancy, whatever. Like, it was... I remember it's being one of the later guns you could unlock in the original Modern Warfare. The iron sight sucked ass, but the gun itself was pretty great. Even in Tom Clancy games, you know, they've got it in The Division. It's been one of the guns I find more often than not, and it's usually a fucking amazing gun. Used it all the time in Rainbow Six, Vegas, and Vegas 2. Like, they had obviously different assortments of weapons that you could choose from. Assault rifles, LMGs, shotguns, SMGs, whatever. It was always SMG and the G36.
Very nice, man. Awesome. Well, for me, I'm going to go a little old school with a few of them, but the Rieger carbine from Mass Effect 3 multiplayer.
Yeah.
Love that gun. I would put it on my Batarian soldier, and I would put like a incendiary round on it. So it melts shields, it melts armor, and then you can shoot your spikes, and it causes a tech explosion with it. And dude, it would just, you mowed through
Does
people.
everything.
I mean, even on gold, you would just mow through people. And I would just, And people would always ask me, what are you using? I was like, it's carbine, man.
Hacks.
Really?
That's what.
You're cheating, mule. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my old school one. The newer one, I'd probably have to say the Hawksaw. I mean, in Destiny, I loved it. I'll always love it. And it just always felt great to me. I loved using it on my hunter. And it was just a freaking OP gun that never really got super nerfed. I just loved it.
Right.
You know? Plus, you know, it had Seahawk colors, so I kind of like that. So,
And it did because Bungie's Bungie.
yeah. And so the last one I'm going to have to say, and I can't remember if it's Halo 1 or Halo 3, or excuse me, Halo 2 or Halo 3, that you had the huge lunge with the sword. Like you could just lunge so far with the sword.
I think they changed it in 3.
I just remember like every time I got the sword, I was like, oh, I'm going to dominate. Because you're like, you can just like, you just went through everybody. It didn't matter unless you got sniped from across the way or something like that.
I had one of my fondest memories with the sword in Halo 3 was back when I still played with old friends. And I got a kill from the grave on a dude with a sword because I think I threw a sticky or it dropped, and immediately after he killed me, and then my other buddy was no, it just dropped. Yeah. And he charged my friend, and it blew up straight as he hit him. I'm like, suck it, fucker! What's up,
dude? That sword was so fun though. Sword play,
dude. It was always a freaking stretch to get there. It was like, okay, we're playing on what is it, the pit? All right, let's run for the sword.
Yeah.
Who got the rockets? Don't worry about the sniper rifle. Get the sword.
Yeah.
That's
and
the
then
thing,
once
man.
you got it, you're like, oh.
People who really got a good handle on that closing distance. Because, you know, as soon as like you'd swing, you're like, you miss. You swing, miss. But sometimes you'd swing and it would launch you forward like 10 feet.
Yep.
Is what it felt like, right? So there was a very particular distance in which you would nail that lunge. And dude, those people who had it, fucking had it.
Oh, I had it. I freaking loved it.
And that's why they had the shotgun to counteract it.
Yeah. I loved it though. Yeah. Cool. So our next shots fired is from our official Discord, and it's from our bro Pseudonym. And he says, I'm super stoked for Destiny 2. I've heard it has magical healing properties. Our son was feeling too sick to go to school this morning. I told him if he got dressed, he could play the Destiny 2 beta on my computer. He immediately felt better. Can you confirm? Hashtag ask analog.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's funny too, because, you know, I've had, at least with Destiny 1, I had the, oh, boss, I'm not feeling very good today.
Right.
Then suddenly, when I start playing Destiny, I felt better.
It just went away. Something about the blue light from your TV hitting your eyes, it just fills your stomach. You know?
I know. It just made me feel better.
Destiny, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
So, fun story. And I still poke fun at my teachers for it because it's still a fun thing. They had told me about a guy during class one day who just got up and left.
Just left?
He just got up and left. My teacher's like, where are you going? He's like, oh, Destiny beta is starting today. I want to go play it.
Okay. Yeah.
Middle of class, just got up and left.
Was the teacher like, okay?
Well, you can't stop him. He was in college. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Do the homework. If not, you're fucked.
That's hilarious, man. That's some dedication right there.
I don't think he graduated.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably why. So our next shots fired is from our official Discord from our bro Johnny Cage 85. And he says, Sony first party studio Guerrilla Games took a risk, dropped their FPS title Killzone. And I think he later clarified that they didn't drop it. They just kind of put it on hiatus to develop the third person action RPG Horizon Zero Dawn. And their risk paid off in oh my goodness, the risk paid off in a possible game of the year. Would you want to see any Xbox studios take a step back from their main, maybe worn out titles like Gears, Forza, Halo, take a risk to create something new? If so, which studio? What do you think it should be?
I think the first
analog.
Yeah. The first question is, would Microsoft let them?
Yeah, that's true.
After this last gen, possibly. I would say the Coalition and 343 could both stand to make something new and awesome.
Yeah.
Again,
Well,
if
the title
Microsoft
like
let
343,
them.
they're kind of pigeonholing themselves into Halo games and only Halo games.
Well, the sheer reason for both of their existences is to keep going Gears of War and Halo.
Yeah.
And I think at some point in time, that's going to change.
It's gonna
Maybe
have
not
to.
now.
They can't just keep going with it.
Right. Not. I mean, what, Halo 12? Like, how long is Halo gonna go?
Yeah.
Like realistically, your story's gonna dry up. People are gonna be like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm playing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like Chief has always made Halo, his storyline. For me, I would have to pick Forza because I just don't know how many different racing games you can make that are better. I mean,
It's kind of like the, not to take a in-depth shot at Apple, even though I don't like Apple at all, but all the same, you know how they have the new iPhone 16 SX1 Type 2 prototype alpha coming out next month. And then they have the copy paste alpha 2 beta strain coming out a week after that. It's like, it's minimal changes at this point in time. So with racing games like that, it's minimal changes. You can make the graphics look pretty. You can add new cars, and that's realistically all you're doing.
Yeah, I would compare racing games something to kind of like, FIFA or Madden. Like, you're going to get one every so often, and that's just the way it is. And they're always going to feature the latest and greatest of the tech because that's what sells them.
yeah.
And that's that. There's not much more to it. People who like racing games are going to continue to get them. New tracks, new features. That's cool. It's not selling me. Forza is still one of the Xbox One X's kind of premier games that's really showcasing the console, though.
It'll look pretty.
Clearly, they're not moving on past that.
No, and they likely won't.
Right.
I mean, it's a cash cow for them. It's basically
First party racing game. Yeah.
It's a Call of Duty thing, just
Right.
in a racing game or a sports game in general, if you will.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. Like, it'd be nice to have some of them take a step back.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
if I saw Rod Ferguson come out on Twitter and be like, hey, we're making a new game, it's not Gears, we'd all be like, holy crap, what is it? What is it? What is it?
Right.
I think of the ones that he's listed, obviously there are more than just, Turn 10, 343 in the Coalition.
Yeah.
But, I think the Coalition has, I would say, the most potential for breaking away from their series.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's all based off Microsoft, because if Microsoft wants them to, they have to. Otherwise, it's going to be another Bungie situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and Halo is like their Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog. I feel like the Coalition would be a little bit better at saying, can we try this?
yeah.
Please?
Right.
I mean, if they want to break off and like maybe extend the Gears universe, because there's plenty to explore. You don't have to constantly follow Marcus and his group.
I feel like Gears 4 is
it's like
trying
Star
to do
Wars.
that. Kind of.
But at the same time, they're not.
Old man Marcus, yeah.
Old man Marcus,
Old
you
man
still
everyone.
have your,
I mean,
you still have your basic team with your,
yeah, I got to say, though, when I played Gears, did you guys have a freak out moment when they're like, the part where they were like, hey, what's in the barn, Dad? He's like, couple mules.
Yeah. Right.
I was like, what? Yeah.
I've been contemplating playing it again, but it's like, Destiny's around the corner.
Yeah,
Nah,
It's a great single player game.
it is.
it is.
Really great, but it would also just screw up your muscle memory right before Destiny.
Right. I mean, it's. I'm sure it's another good one for co-op and whatnot. I mean, one of the guys I played D&D with is going through it right now, and I kind of feel like going like, hey man, you want to play together? That'd be fun.
Yeah,
But at the
Gears
same
is
time-
made for co-op.
Yeah, but even then, we didn't really get into it that much. I've despised their PvP since the get-go. Never got into it. And Horde, was kind of this time around.
Horde mode in Gears of War 3 was the best, yeah.
Yeah, it was. This time it's kind of... I honestly almost wish they would just copy-pasted the formula from 3, because that was good shit.
Yep.
Cool. So our next shots fired is from our bro, Darth Loki. And he's in our official Discord. And he says, what preparations are you taking to make sure you have max game time next week? Of course, we're talking about Destiny 2 here.
H.
Hashtag Ask Analog. You're what?
H.
H. Hydrating?
He said, what preparations?
Why don't you just call it Operation Ass Cream, you ass?
It's like, you hydrating? No. H2O?
Hydrogen?
I kid. I mean, I know a lot of people are taking time off for, a lot of people take time off for the release of, lots of games.
Right.
Or they make other plans, or they kind of adjust their schedule so that you have time to play that game. But I mean, I'll probably just have a real conversation with my family and say, I'm going to need some prime game time, especially these first couple of weeks. I'm not going to kick you guys out of the living room or anything. I'm not going to, abandon all of my other responsibilities to do this. But I'm going to make a little, like instead of sitting here like, yeah, I'll watch Dancing with the Stars, I'm going to be like, I got to get on this,
Yeah.
I kind of have to have a podcast about this.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's important. Serious business here.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. It's like, I mean, currently I work part-time, so I have plenty of free time. So my whole plan for next week is pick it up after work Wednesday night, load it up because I'm not going to have access to the TV when I get home, play it all day Thursday.
Yeah.
So as for preparations, I'm just going to go about my week, really, because like I said, I've got plenty of time to fill in with playing it. I don't have to. It's actually next weekend is my weekend off. I don't have much going on next week to begin with, so it's like,
yeah, I'm
just going to play when I can play.
Yeah. I think for me, I can't take any time off, but I am getting a half day on Friday when we are kicking off for
early release
for the charity stream. So, but that's pretty much all I'm going to be streaming. And as you guys know, as we talked about on schedule, I got the 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. slot as well.
Are you taking a nap that day?
I don't know, man. I'm going to be on like 7 cups of coffee. So, but I'll get plenty of Destiny in with that. And I may actually stay up because I think they said that for us, it'll start at 11 p.m. So I may stay up Wednesday and play a little bit more. So little tidbits there, just a tip.
I mean, maybe now that I think about it, if the game loads fast enough when I get it, I'm just gonna start playing it, and my ex can get off her ass and get out of the living room. I don't care.
Just tell them how it is, dirty bomb.
That's what I've been doing lately. Is like, you know what? I don't really want to watch Friends right now. I'm gonna play Xbox, and you can go in the bedroom.
Yeah. Well, you didn't watch this 20 years ago. This is happening.
And she doesn't even watch it. She just listens to it while she's on her phone.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
It's ambiance.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Background noise.
It's the only reason we still have any semblance of cable TV. Is for ambiance. Sometimes you just need something, and it's like I don't want to have to pick every single freaking thing that happens on the TV.
Yeah.
So, hey, as much trash as I talk about Sony at times, I've got PS View.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
It'll cut your cable bill in a quarter too. Yeah. So check it out.
So our last shots fired here is from Anon Pig.
He said it right.
I did. See? Mule learns.
Eventually.
You can teach an old mule new tricks.
He says, what realistic hopes do you have to be surprised by in Destiny 2 from a story perspective, or even just quality of life like vault changes? Any enemies you hope to see or new NPCs? So what do you guys think?
Good questions. I think some new enemies obviously would be good.
No freaking Taken.
But they're there.
Let the PlayStation have the Taken.
Yeah, PlayStation's got the Taken.
You want that exclusive? Have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the PlayStation exclusive Strike, I mean, to me, looks Taken.
It is.
By PlayStation.
It's very Taken heavy.
It's Taken.
Yeah.
I get it. I got you.
And I mean, the Taken were still just a variant of other enemies, and that's neat. That was neat way back when. I hope we don't get new Taken, as in just variants of old enemies. And I know you've got
right.
The 4 main squeezes from Destiny are coming back, But you've also got you've got like the Cabal dogs, you've got the gladiators, you've got new characters coming into play, new types, and I hope that there are more like fully original. Like, I don't care if there's more Fallen, for example, but maybe a new class of Fallen.
Right.
But even if there was a 5th faction, that would be awesome. Be awesome.
There is. I mean, as Circuit has recently joined our buddy Cobalt Cam's Discord server for his clan, the Lore Corps, they have several chats dedicated to weekly discussion topics of Destiny, like spinfoil, conspiracy theories, general lore discussion as well. And recently we were discussing Fallen houses in general, and ones that came up were potentially one that was going to be in Destiny 2, and one I think that still is, I want to say it's the House of Stone.
Ooh, interesting.
House of Stone.
I think so.
Okay.
It might be the wrong house, but I know there's a new house.
Okay. So it a previously unmentioned or
I think so.
Unshot.
I could very well be wrong, but at the same time, if you did the exploration in the strike when you went right instead of going forward, there were all those Fallen. They were from a new house.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting. So far as story, I hope we get more light shed on the 9. Because seeing as we're actually going past the asteroid belt this time to the planets that in the Destiny universe they refer to them as the Jovians or the gas giants. Now, I don't think we're actually going into Saturn or Jupiter, but the moons, the planets past the asteroid belt are largely what's considered in the realm of the darkness. That's what made the Awoken the Awoken.
Yeah. Wasn't there some talk on whether or not the 9 were the war mines?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the war mines were, there was one for each planet.
Right.
And all we know about now, who's functioning is Rasputin.
It's Rasputin. Right. But there is that DLC. It's not announced, obviously, but they do have Rasputin symbols, so it tends to make you think that it's going to be based around Rasputin. So if there is, I think that might be the time to shine the light on the 9, if it actually ends up going that way.
I think that previous lore has pointed a finger more at the 9 not being war mines, at being more akin to, they've been referred to as, or described as, Leviathan, which is a term now used to describe 2 different entities in the Destiny universe. One being the huge creature on Fundament that Oryx and her 2 sisters, or Arash, female Oryx, young Oryx, ran into on the way down through the ocean before they ran into the worm. The second being the raid.
Yeah.
From Destiny 2.
Yep.
And I'm not going to touch more on that. Hopefully the name itself doesn't spoil or, kill your jollies over there. But there are some cool concept art photos out there, so check it out.
Yeah, I think for me, when it comes to story, I don't care as long as it has lots of pew-pew. I have you guys.
You'll care.
Yeah,
make you care.
But I want to make sure I have lots of shooting, and I got you guys for lore, so I'll do the shooting. You tell me the lore.
You say, "Why did I shoot that guy?" Go, "'Cause this is why."
His nephew's cousin's brother's uncle's aunt twice removed was your father's roommate in college.
You'll be like, Samuel, the reason why you shot that guy. Okay.
What does that make us?
He gave
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but obviously, I really do want to hear a cool story that's in the game, and it sounds like we're going to get that. So, so other than that, quality of life, maybe make it where you don't have to use the companion app to switch things. Maybe have something in game that you can use. That's the only other thing I can think of. Yeah. Or, if what we're hearing about, the lore with the lore cards,
right. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah. If we're hearing that, I would love to see you actually have a book that's just a lore book, kind of like your Triumph book or, like Days of Iron book, that you actually have a book that you can reference to anytime you've actually unlocked an item.
Right. So it turns out that Luke Smith in an interview said that, obviously people have been questioning where's the text story going to be now that the Grimoire is gone. Turns out that exotic weapons, raid weapons, and Trials of Osiris weapons, and also gear from all three, you can hit left trigger or L2 and it'll pull up a whole page of story and info on the gear. So you're going to have replacements for the Grimoire. How it all will work and whether or not you can access it if you dismantle that piece of gear or weapon, I'm not sure about. But hopefully there will be some kind of reference or codex situation.
Give me a lore book.
Hopefully.
Then I can have
honestly,
Circuit read it to me.
I mean, yeah, that fixes the lore for weapons and armor, but there's
everything else
more lore to have. Like you can't hit left trigger on this unless there's honestly they go so open world-esque as to say, oh hey, here's this marker, hit the left trigger to add this to your book or whatever.
Well, I mean, Luke did also comment that there are going to be other situations like when you're playing adventures and stuff in single player where you're going to, then he followed by saying you're going to have plenty to read. And it's just in what form, how convenient it is, if I'm going to be able to pull that back up next week. If I'm like, oh, wait, what was that guy's name? And I look something up. You need some kind of permanent source for this stuff. That's the thing. And if it's not going to be the Grimoire, it needs to be accessible in the game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of my thing.
Yep. Well, cool, guys. I think that about wraps up the cast. I know we're all hyped for Destiny 2. Lots of good stuff going on. So, let's get this going.
Yeah. Next time you hear us, we'll have played D2.
Yeah.
We'll try to keep it spoilery free, but no promises.
Yeah. I'm pretty hyped for it, man. I'm ready. I need it.
Yeah.
Give me. I need. Yeah. Well, cool, guys. Well, don't forget, if you like us on our podcast here and our website, consider being a supporter over at patreon.com/Mulehorn Gaming. You can also check out our cool cats at ninjapancake.com. Some really cool podcasts over there. If you could, please like us on Facebook. Leave us a review on iTunes. You can follow us all on Twitter. You got at Dirty Bombs, at Circuit 8. All of us at Mulehorn Gaming. And remember, guys, when in doubt, blow it up!
Death awaits you all with nasty sharp voices.
That's a cat blowing. Exploding kittens.
For the puppies!
Follow that guy. My original Xbox, yes.
Before it fried.
Yeah, right.
If you can not type and talk at the same time because it's super loud.
You need to not type and talk at the super time. Anyway.
I'm not.
You just got told by the editor.
Scare your cat.
No, I think I made my mic stand angry. Anyway.
You're welcome, listeners. Your ears are better.
Right.